At a time when the nation is dealing with serious issues, and in the hallowed chambers of the Senate, where the senators, the representatives of the people, where they are supposed to be making serious considerations, where they are supposed to be busy brainstorming and making sure that they find solutions to the issues confronting Nigeria, our national problems, the difficult economy, the hunger in the land, the insecurity, the joblessness, and how Nigeria will be better and they can move things forward, because that's why they were elected there, and to make sure that they are working with other arms of government to deliver the good governance to Nigerians. Our senators are busy fighting a look me, no look me fight, aka sexual harassment. Senator Natasha Akpoti and Senator Godswill Akpabio. Interestingly, the two of them have AK at the beginning of their name. Akpoti, Akpabio, but the K is silent. Now, Akpoti and Akpabio, they are now the signature of all eyes. They are the center of attention because of the allegations, or should I say accusations, of sexual harassment that Senator Natasha Akpoti has brought against the Senate President Akpabio in public. Welcome to If You Ask Jimmy. If you are yet to subscribe to this channel, please kindly click the subscribe button right now, like this video, and also click the notification bell. Thank you for your subscription. Thanks for subscribing. Right. Let me start by saying, I as a person, I am not a fan of Senate President Godswill Akpabio. I don't know about when he was governor or whatever result he has had or not had. But for me, when I watch the way he conducts plenary, I am not impressed at all. I feel very, very, very disappointed that is, the quality of leadership we are having in that house. That is my strong personal opinion. I've never been impressed by the leadership of the house. Not only him, but just because he is in the forefront, I see the way he talks. People say he's loquacious. People say his personality and the kind of way he presents things make him to be trivializing the position, that very serious position of the number 3 man in the country that should be of firm character and of a kind of serious, purposeful, leadership, right? So not many Nigerians like the way he runs things at the Senate. Now, before, like Nigerians will say before, people will say that wonders shall never end. But right now in Nigeria, it's a case of melodramas shall never end. And in this Akpoti Natasha saga, the issue is it true or lie, or is it cheap blackmail? Because people will say where man's eyes cannot reach or cannot see up to there, that only God's eyes can reach. Let's just put it colloquially, that where men's eyes cannot see, only God's eyes can reach there. That is, sometimes people come to allege things, and sometimes things actually happen. But how do you know whether it is true or not? Because there are no witnesses and there is no record. It is just somebody's word against another person. That is the case of Akpoti right here. All right? Because people say that women should be protected. At the same time, men should not also be victims. And one weapon with which women fight back is accusations, or bringing things that are actually happen between them and men. We have seen that happen with former President Trump, now President Trump. I said President Trump, and a lot of very highly placed people. This thing happens a lot in America, but usually the ladies involved are able to provide evidence or not, and sometimes it is just political kind of thing. If you want to damage somebody, especially men, the easiest thing to say, it doesn't happen from men to women. Men don't usually come to say women harass them, and it happens a whole lot, right? It happens a whole lot. Women flaunt themselves at men, but maybe men they take the challenge and they don't usually come out to say it, or maybe they just go with the flow. But once a woman says that someone harasses her, then the whole world stands with that woman. And you see women supporting women, you see men supporting women. Why? Because it's not a woman thing. I have a daughter. I have a sister, I have a mother. Everybody has a mother. And most people have sisters, and a lot of people have daughters. So it's actually a women thing. And when women fight back that way, they fight dirty. But when that fight now has some undertones of politics, then it becomes very, very difficult to really, to discern the matter. So as women are supposed to be protected, men should not also be victims, because a single allegation can destroy everything that a man has built, the reputation, what he has worked for all his life. And at the same time, women should not be raped, they should not be harassed, and they should not be victimized. So in talking about the Natasha Akpoti matter, I would say that there's no smoke without fire. That's from Natasha, because she's saying some things as if they are evidential. She's presenting some facts she's presenting some narratives in the public. And Akpabio, his own case is when no one believes you. When no one believes you, it got so bad that his wife had to be the one to come out to the public to defend him. And just today is the 5th of March, is when Akpabio himself came to talk at the plenary of the Senate to address the issue in a speech that he even read. I don't even appreciate the fact that he had to read that, because he can say his truth and it will come from his heart and he will say it in few words. He doesn't, well, maybe I wasn't watching well, but it looks like he was reading that speech. I'm not a fan of Akpabio, and I know that women are very powerful. Women are very delicate. If people are not saying that you should respect women, they will say fear women. Right? In this case of Natasha Akpoti, you see that you can hardly find any senator that is standing with her. Look at the women, all the women in the Senate, from Florence Itagiwa, Ireti Kingibe. And at least I have watched the interviews with Itagiwa. No, Itagiwa is an elderly person. And I think the other person, what's her name now? It's not just Ireti Kingibe. What's the name of this other person? Anyway, they have come out to say, okay, Itagiwa was a former senator, and they are saying that they don't really, there's a way they look at it, and a lot of women are coming for them that, maybe they thought they would just come out and start supporting Natasha blindly. The point is that Natasha is in leadership. Senate is not just political place, a political, institution. It is a place of leadership. And people are saying that Natasha seems to have anger and attitude problem. Apart from the fact that we are going to treat the issue of her outburst, we are going to treat the issue of the accusations and the allegations she's laying of sexual harassment against Akpabio. But the first thing is, how did this thing happen? She was told to change her seat, to move to somewhere else, and that place is a place of leadership. And if you have anger issues, you have to keep yourself in check when you are in public. The Senate chambers is hallowed, they say, but it's a public chamber because they usually hold public hearings, and that is a public place where they are sitting before the global TV. It's not for people to be throwing tantrums at the slightest provocation. Now, that's why some of these senators, they are not even backing Akpabio whether he did it or he didn't do it, but they are saying that why can an adult like Natasha be throwing tantrums and being difficult and being, like that kind of just hurling words at the rest on the floor right there. She can make a point and make it very, very clear. Now, a lot of senators are not showing sympathy for her, because they are saying that it doesn't say what she's doing is telling negatively on the institution, because the Senate rule says that you can only speak from the seat that is assigned to you. Now, the other time, let me go back to that one. Akpabio was wrong the time he said that the Senate was not a nightclub just because of how Natasha Akpoti, what she said, the way she dressed, and he had to apologize. But when you look at this issue of move from your seat to another seat, whatever the issue between this lady and Akpabio, there is the history of opposition senators who had their seats changed in the past. People of timber and caliber in Nigeria. Can you imagine people like former Governor Orji Uzor-Kalu? There's a Senator Ezenwa, there's Senator Tambuwa, there's Senator Fadaunsi, there's Senator Ned Nwoko, Senator Ume, and Senator Shuaibu Lao, Senator Adamo, Senator Ningi. These are even Senator Tambuwa, who was a former governor, and he was even the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Look at all these names I've mentioned. I've mentioned about like 7 or 8 names right now. These are people of mettle who were senators. It is the prerogative of the Senate president to allocate seats to people in the same chambers of the Senate. And now, just today, I was reading in the papers how former Governor Kayode Fayemi had come out to defend himself that he is not, because somebody mentioned his name, that he was, how will I put it now, that Natasha accused him before of sexually harassing her. But today, he has come out to categorically say that, how will I put it now, the head of media, Ahmad Sajo, for the Fayemi media office, said our attention has been drawn to the news published by the cable regarding alleged statement by Senator Cyril Fashui during Senate plenary that Senator Akpoti accused Dr. Fayemi of sexual harassment. Fayemi says he wishes to state categorically that the report is inaccurate and a misrepresentation of the factual comments made by the distinguished senator from Ekiti. So what it means is that it isn't the first time that kind of thing will happen. Look at what this guy said. What is his name again? I've just forgotten, but I have his speech in front of me. And what he's saying is just to give a total, is giving Renault mockery. Renault mockery had to do a whole publication on the 1st of March in order for him to address the issue. He just wanted to direct the conversation. What did Renault have to say about Natasha? I will have to read it so that you can see how it goes. He says that please leave me out of Natasha Akpoti affair. I've been inundated with calls from all major media outlets in Nigeria to interview me about the issues involving the Senate President Godswill Akpabio and Natasha Akpoti. These media organizations want my take, seeing that I was once accused by Senator Natasha Akpoti. So this accusation, I'm bringing this one in because it's not the first time Akpoti will accuse somebody. But look at where Renault is coming from. He said that that he was once accused by Natasha Akpoti of the exact grave allegations that she is now accusing the Senate President of. Against my will, that is Renault speaking, I have been trending on various social media platforms, and for the sake of my family, to be best to put the matter to rest. Because this sexual harassment allegation can be very damaging. He said, rather than speak on multiple media outlets, perhaps I can ease the pressure by putting out this statement. He says, I don't know if what Senator Natasha Akpoti accused the Senate President of is true, and I was not physically present when the alleged events took place. However, I can testify that Senator Akpoti once had an altercation with me on social media over a post where a woman made advances at me and I rejected her and stated that my wife is a beauty queen and there is more than enough for me. Apparently, the woman is or was a friend of Senator Akpoti, and after her scorned I scorned her friend's advances. Senator Akpoti accused me of sexually harassing her at Aso Rock Presidential Villa during a reception held for visiting President Uhuru Kenyatta, Kenyan president, when he visited Nigeria between May 4 and May 7, 2014. I want you to hear this part. Unfortunately, for Senator Akpoti, during those days, I was sent to the United States of America as President Jonathan's special envoy. I met and was photographed with multiple U.S. officials, including State Department officials in Washington, D.C. I then published a first-class British Airways ticket and my passport, which was the different class of passport from regular Nigerian passport and requires a special kind of stamp, proving that I was not in Nigeria on the dates that this same Senator Natasha Akpoti alleged I sexually harassed her. After I published the evidence, Miss Natasha Akpoti, as she then was, deleted every trace of her allegations against me and the video she had made insulting me, my wife, and my newborn daughter. And I was pondering the next steps to take. A very influential and respectable man from her ethnic nationality reached out to a prominent Christian clergyman who mediated between him and I, and he greeted me. The gentleman greeted me in my mother tongue, insecurity, and was most gentlemanly and expressed the regrets over the incident, and I was prevailed upon by the clergyman to reach out of court settlement. Thereafter, I dropped the matter since my name had been cleared and the out of court settlement was adequate. That is the extent of my encounter with Senator Akpoti. Now, he said that all of that he hopes the media can now leave him alone. A lot of things, though I said drama shall never end. What exactly, this is just a kind of nobody wants a woman to be victimized, and no man should be, running around, harassing women that they are supposed to be responsible for. But today I saw the senator. Today is the 5th of March. I saw the senator kissing the husband publicly, and people are having comments that this lady is Dino Melaye's sister and is number 2, and they are wondering why all these kind of characters are coming out of Kogi State. You cannot talk like that. This is from X, and the post is by Peter Okeze Anthony, but some other people are commenting under it. Well, somebody said, Titilayo Emeldo Afia says it is called support. What women want all their husbands to do in the money of their worst crisis, in the middle of their worst crisis. I think that was what she meant to say. In a nutshell, people are saying that, this public show by going out to kiss and all the rest, but what will you do in that situation if you are a man? This man has come out to defend the woman that, is aware. I think he did that yesterday in the news on the 4th of March. The husband is standing firmly behind her. That's what I want to prove in that place. But, I listened to that interview on Arise, and a lot of things, it's good to listen, to sympathize with people. At the same time, it's good to filter things. When you listen to Akpoti's interview and you listen to this woman's interview, what's her name? Senator Itagiwa. The woman was saying that as a matured lady, it's not that you don't let men hold your hand and you say, and meanwhile, you see, guys, these people are actually family friends. Natasha Akpoti's husband has been known to Senate president for a long time. And from what they were saying, the husband was even approaching the Senate president to curry favor for his wife, something that could have been a matter of state importance, which they should discuss as a matter of right, where in the allo chambers of the assembly. So there's a kind of lobbying that the lady had been doing behind the back and all of those things. So the whole thing is very complicated, it's convoluted. If Senator Akpabio actually harassed this woman, it is irresponsible and of him if he actually did that, and he should know better than to put himself in that kind of position. And I think that Akpabio should have come out to speak for himself, not people speaking for him. His wife came out, and some people are saying, Madam, go and sit down. Is it you that's being accused or your husband? And the wife even sued Natasha for a lot of billions, and Natasha have sued back. Can you imagine? Now, do you see how this issue have dominated the public space for some days? Does anybody hear about anything that has to do with the nation's economy, the naira, the exchange rate, or anything, or security in the past few days? That's the same way some of these funny social media characters, they'll just throw one thing into the space. If it is not Bobrisky, it will be VDM, it will be Nedu, it will be, you see how private matters of public people or just becomes a distraction to the rest of us. And it's not like rape now, like that you will say, maybe there's evidence and everything. And this harassment, something a woman says a man is holding her hand in front of her husband and whispering something to her, and she lied to her husband twice that it's not what he's thinking, and he just looked for a way. And one would have thought that when all of these things were happening, this woman should, I think harassment for an adult should be reported. And people are finding it difficult now to situate exactly the truth of this matter. Why? Because this woman is just speaking up when she has an issue with the Senate president, and she thinks and feels very victimized. But the women in the house are saying that they don't experience that kind of victimization. Though when I look at the women that are speaking, especially Ireti Kingibe, she's not a young woman like that. Natasha is a slave queen by all means. And some people are saying, woman, you see, there are a lot of things that goes with success in life. You see, when you talk to entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs, especially, when you talk to women professionals, especially, when you talk to women top athletes, especially, when you talk to women, you may not even get, to see the depth of harassment, whether sexual or men's harassment in most of those. But let me say this about political office. Do you know that many people believe that except your husband is powerful or you come from a powerful family, maybe you are the daughter or wife of somebody who is already powerful, a lot of people see women in politics as people who probably compromise one way or the other with some powers that be for them to get to that position. You remember this guy, Senator, what is his name? Why do I keep forgetting people's name today? Ishak or whatever, that senator, that young senator from Adamawa State, okay? By the time I leave this set now, I'll remember his name and it will be very painful to me. Okay, that senator, there's a woman that came out and said, okay, he promised that he was going to, help her politically, sponsor her to position, and they were sleeping with each other. You see, women will tell you, professionals. You see, that's why Itagiwa was saying, look, there's a way you carry yourself that men will not even, this issue of harassment won't come up. That is not to say people won't admire you. In everyday life, people get admired. And let me tell you, there's a thin line between approachment and sexual harassment. Most of the time, you have to talk to somebody before you can get along with them, if you want to make a friend or have a relationship. But this is a very easy weapon in the hand of women. They can throw it in at any time, because if they say yes, then they belong to you. But if they say no, they can turn it, they can flip it instantly and say you are trying to approach them. And but this man we are talking about here is a married man. The wife came out, is the best father in the world, is a great man. He doesn't have that kind of record. Nobody said that kind of thing about him, even when he was governor. And the man himself is coming out to say that he's an orphan. It's just now the man, if you remember that his mother died or something like that, and that he was a good child to his mother. He was well trained, and his mother didn't teach him to do that kind of a thing. It's very, very messy. What I know is that Akpoti is a fighter. Let me tell you, I admire Senator Akpoti so much. In fact, I am a sympathizer of hers because I know what she went through in the hand of Kogi governor, former governor Yahaya Bello, during some electioneering where she tried to be a governor, and the way she was a fighter. I think she was in SDP, and the way she was handling the whole thing. I was scared for her when I looked at her. This pretty lady, she's so tender. She doesn't want to put herself, in harm's way in this very volatile political space. But that's what she did. She had a lot of courage. You understand? Now, this lady came to the house today as a roundup, and then she was now presenting the motion in order for her to be able to present a petition to the Senate. And somebody said medicine after death. In law, the process of filing a case as a way of determining the outcome of the case. What she's doing now, this is a post by King of Salem under Kalu Aja's poll in X, formerly called Twitter. What she's doing now was supposed to be the first step, but instead of following the procedure, she ran to the court and to the national television to be the judge in her own cause. Somebody, people are saying different kind of things. Toby Akimbo said she must have compiled a lot of damaging evidence. This woman is a fighter. Yeah, she's a fighter. Someone said, that same Toby Akimbo said, Akpabio should ask Yahaya Bello, who cut a major road with bulldozer, to stop her from driving through during the election. Yet she went ahead to win. The interesting thing is that this woman is a very strong woman. By all means, some people think Akpabio should resign or should have resigned, but, it is her word against Akpabio. It is good now that I think they are taking each other to court. The only thing is that some of our people can be very, very funny, because just today in the house, in Abuja, we had two sets of groups that are, protesting pro-Akpabio, justice for Natasha, and some people are saying justice for Akpabio, that Akpabio should not be blackmailed. Nigeria is very, very funny. It's just a theater of the absurd. I don't want this video to be longer than this, but it is just a case of a situation where we find ourselves that we don't really have institutions in Nigeria. It is very hard, trust me, to say somebody really harassed somebody, and it is very hard to defend that you didn't harass somebody. Let me tell you, with the body language and the public disposition of Senator Godswill Akpabio, it's very difficult to exonerate him of this kind of thing, just because of the way he normally loses talk himself. He loses guard a lot. He loses guards a lot. But this lady also is a fighter, and she's a lawyer, and she can spin anything. and she's really brute. She's bitter, and she's brutal. I can see how she was vituperating, how she was really, really passionate and animated, and you definitely know. See, guys, that's why I love to quote this daily Farotimi's book: "Do not die in their war." You should know that this thing is not a Senate thing at all. It didn't start in the Senate. These guys are friends, and Yoruba will say "Oleku ija ore," that is the fight of friends. When there's a disagreement between friends, it is fight to finish. These people know one another. In fact, they know one another's secrets, and maybe you have not even seen the end yet. By and by, maybe you are going to see a lot of things being unearthed. But this allegation is an allegation. It also should be taken with a pinch of salt, because the whole narration of "he held my hand, my husband was walking from the back, he called me at night, he did this and all of those things, another senator called, another person threatened me." This lady is a lawyer. Let her bring those facts to court, because we should not preempt anybody. And I know that, it's a case of her words against Akpabio. And Akpabio, apart from the suit from his wife, she can even sue 1 trillion. That's not the issue. The issue is that Akpoti is saying something, she's claiming something, she's alleging something. It is Akpabio's turn to come and defend himself. Maybe he has to do that in court. I heard that the Senate, was supposed to be considering Akpoti's this thing today. Maybe she didn't even present herself for the Senate probe, and the Senate says they are not going to be able to televise that live. I mean, even me, I will say, why should it be televised live? On taxpayers' money, or is it free? And is that the business of the Senate? That's supposed to be a Senate subcommittee. Oh, anyway, if people are interested in drama, Nigeria, we love sensation a lot. We love drama. You understand? Maybe again to protect innocent women in the future. But you see, this victim card, sometimes people can play it easily. I know I'm talking in different directions. I'm just trying to find a balance. You see, Akpoti is not a weakling. Whoever knows Akpoti is a senator now, whoever knows Akpoti, she wanted to be governor, you will know that she's a rugged lady. She's rugged to the core. She can look like a beauty queen, like tender on the surface. That lady is very strong. So if Akpoti now is being seen as a victim, or playing victim mentality, or actually she was harassed, if Akpoti was harassed, if that Akpoti that I know, let me tell you, even from the way she's speaking, you know that she has a very sharp tongue. She has a very, very strong personality. She was the senior prefect in her school. She has dignity. She is born by a mixed parent. Her father is from Kogi. Her mother is from Russia. So she's what Nigerians would call half caste. There are ways ladies carry themselves that you will not even carry your mouth and go and talk some things to them. Up to the extent that one man is holding your hand, you are now walking. We cannot sleep and just put our heads in one direction. Maybe their relationship was that cordial, okay? And a lot of things needs to add up. They need to make us, what do they say? They need to make us understand them. And I hope they can do that in court. I comment my reserve, like Nigerians will say, instead of saying reserve my comment, but I don't want people to jump to conclusions. The personality of Akpabio is not easy to defend him. And the strong personality of Natasha, we need her to prove this allegation in court. No woman should be so victimized. But for her to get to the Senate, when it is not something she wrote an exam or professional exam and she got given on a platter of gold, she fought for it. She is a fighter. She is this woman is a woman of, she's like a woman. Some women that are up to 7 men. That's Natasha Akpoti for you. Kogi governor had to go and cut the road. He had to take bulldozer to unearth the road for her to stop Natasha. This Natasha that is saying somebody, this Natasha is not a small fry. She's not Yoruba would say she's not a weak meat. She's a very, very strong woman. And Natasha still went ahead. She was unstoppable. We hope to see where this whole thing is leading to. Well, they should take it from out of the floor of the Senate. They should go and settle one another in court and let us have governance from the Senate. Thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you. Bye.